So I've got the fix that you can make, and you'll be able to put this together so you can enjoy multiple hummingbirds in your yard, your garden, or your patio. I've been feeding hummingbirds now for years, thousands of them. And not all of us can have this many of them feeding where they're happy and content. And sometimes they're still fighting here too. But that's because a lot of them are raised here. This is normal, a single feeder with a single bird. Why? Because that's their flower. They need to protect their food because food is so important to them that if they go one day without food, they won't make it to the next day. So they become very dominant, especially the males, but females can do it too, over a single feeder. But I think we can fix this because I have been really observing them for quite a few years now. Now, I did have a fix that does work, and I used a tote lid, and I designed it where they can't see who is feeding. But there was still issues as far as seeing in different areas. Now here, this was very odd. A bird that would go and build a nest on my feeder on my kitchen window and had 6 nests there for 2 years. Can you imagine? But once the babies had their eyes open, I had to give her a different feeder because I wasn't going to dare touch that nest at that point. So I came up with a different idea. I've been observing the birds, so I think I've got something that may work for you. So let's look at it, how to make it, and then we'll come back out and I'll show you why it's got to be done this way. And maybe this will be a fix for your patio or garden. So this is all you're going to need to make your double hummingbird feeder partition hanger. 2 of those wire racks I get at the Dollar Tree, and they're $1.25 each, and they're fantastic. But you could use any wire you've got. These are 2 garden flags that I picked up, and we won't need the pole that's in there, the stick. Take it out, but don't throw any of this away. There's always other projects you may use it for. So you slide the stick out, and now you're going to have 2 flags to put this together. Now you can use any fabric you want. Make sure it's a little bit on the dark side so they can't see through. You can use a table placemat, but those break down a little too quick in the sun. So that is totally up to you. Now, if you were dealing with rain, you could take that plastic that came off the flag. I made one in the winter, I made a few of them for the winter, and this will keep the rain from coming down. But we don't have any rain right now, so I'm going to just hold off and do something with the plastic later. But don't throw the plastic away from the flags either, because you can lay that down and then you can put your flag on top. So it looks really pretty, but no water will drip down. So keep that in mind. But today we're only making a partition for the nice warm summer. So we'll have a little bit better airflow. That's all, but keep the plastic for later. Now what you're going to do is you're going to attach the garden flag to the square piece of wire. Now here I'm using paper binders. They're the smallest binder clips they make, and they're for clipping paper and stuff together. You get them at all the dollar stores, big, package for $1, and they could be anywhere from 10 in a package or 12. It clips on so easy, and it's quick, and it lasts forever. Now, the second one we're going to attach the flag to, I'm going to show you a second alternative way to attach it. So you may have this, and you can use this instead of the binder clips. You fold the flag over, and then what I'm going to do here is, I'm going to staple it. Now, this particular stapler is a paper stapler, no different than the one you put your paper in there and push it down. The difference is this is a pliers type stapler, and you can buy them anywhere, and I happen to love this much better than the ones you push. So I use this for a lot of projects around the garden, even for stapling to my tote lids or my totes. And you just turn it all the way around and add as many staples as you want. If for some reason the staples don't go in good or they feel a little sharp, just take a pair of pliers and push the stapler down and flatten it. It's 1, 2, 3, but this is the easiest and even cheapest way of doing it. Love using my stapler for all kinds of craft projects. Well worth the investment. I think it cost me $12 or $15 for that. Now the next step is to put the 2 together. We need that hanging partition in the middle so the hummingbirds don't see each other. This way you can feed more than one bird. After all, they can only chase what they can see, right? Now you can use zip ties for this or anything you want, and I'm using just little wire I have here. You could use bread ties if you're still getting wire on your bread or whatever, but it doesn't really matter what you use. Like I said, a zip tie, string, yarn, anything you want, just hang it in the middle. So count the wires and hang your partition in the middle so it will drop down, so you'll have 2 places to hang a hummingbird feeder. And that's all there is to it. Now you just trim the wires off and keep it nice and clean looking. You could put 2 wires or 3. You can put 1 more in the middle if you want extra security. But there it is. Now we just have to add our chain. Now this chain was from the Dollar Tree and it was $1.25. Now you could put, theoretically, a hook in the middle, but it will swing too much. I have found that out. So it's better to get something with at least 3 or 4 chains where you're either putting it on all 4 corners or 3. It won't matter. But either way, this will help it from swinging a little too much. A little swinging's okay. Hummingbirds swing. They don't mind. Now, this particular one was too long for me, so I'm going to show you how I shortened it because where I'm hanging it, I needed a shorter chain. So with the small pliers, it's really easy. The wire's not that stiff. You just bend them open and remove the amount of chain you want to remove if you're going to shorten it. And then use the chain to hook it on. Keep those extra pieces you're taking off because you can make an extra hanging unit later. So I save all this. See, now I'm kind of judging how I want to put it up. And I'm taking off what I don't need. Just another little hint, if you don't like the 3-corner hanger, the way it's hanging now, you could put those extra pieces together and you can make it hanging on all 4 corners. I've done that too, but today we're just gonna shorten it and put it on. Just the way it comes, except for the shorter wire. Now, if the flag is covering the wire where you're gonna need to put the clip on, from the wire that you're going to hang it, just make a little tiny hole, slide it through, and then pinch it shut. And that's it. It is now ready to hang outside. And now you can feed more than 1 hummingbird. So I have made quite a few of these and put it out. And it really does help for those little fighters. Some of them are peaceful and some of them want to fight. But they can't see each other. They can't see who's on the other side. Their eyesight may be terrific, but it's not that good. They can't see through the fabric. Make sure the fabric you use is not see-through. So you don't want to use plastic or anything that's clear. And you do want to cover the top. That's very important because if you don't, you will have a little hummingbird sitting on top looking down, protecting both feeders. So he can't see from the top and he can't see from either side. They may still try to protect the feeder, but here's the thing. He won't be able to see everything all the time, so you'll have multiple birds coming in. It also works for orioles. Orioles are nasty to each other sometimes. They fight and quarrel over a feeder, and there's nothing you can do about it. That's their personalities, and they're like little monkeys climbing around. But see, they chase each other off. But this gives peace when you want to put multiple feeders out there, because this way they can eat in peace too. So it's kind of going to bring a nice peaceful environment to your garden or patio. And also you'll be able to feed the orioles along with the hummingbirds if you've got them both there, because they don't like feeding in the same area. This way the hummingbird has its own feeder, is peaceful. You don't have that big bird sitting next to it, and you've got the oriole on the other side who's not even aware of a hummingbird right next to her. Now sometimes when they're hanging they may swing a little bit. So I've done a couple different tricks here. I actually took some cute little stuffed animals and hung them on the bottom. It creates a little bit of a weight so it won't swing as bad. But you could hang a plant there too. I've done that and it works really well. I just thought this was too cute. Design them for your garden, your area. Make it look cheerful so when you look outside, you see the birds out there and it's fun, it's inviting, and it's exciting at the same time. This has really worked good. And think of it this way. They're also protected somewhat more from predators. So if a hawk was flying by, they can't even see them. Nobody can see any of the birds there. It gives them a little bit of privacy. It looks pretty, and it gives them that extra shelter. And like I said, in the winter, you could always put plastic on top and then put your flag or your fabric over that. It will protect them from the rain, but right now it's going to protect them from the sun. It's going to help your nectar, hummingbird food, to stay cooler on the hot summer days because now it's going to be shaded. So it has a lot of bonuses, not just by helping more than 1 bird come and feed, but there's a lot of different pluses on this. I just think it looks nice. It kind of gives it a really cute decor in the garden, and I'm sure the birds love it too, giving them a real private feeding station. And they're very aware of other birds. As you see that, they can see an oriole coming and they don't like him and they dart away. But in the meantime, that little hummingbird got its food when it needed it. So with that, have a wonderful day. And don't forget to eat what you grow. Bye-bye. Now we all can feed more hummingbirds. Gary shows up in some of the oddest places. He knows I was filming. Do you think he wants to be in the video?